right, it is time to shake off the August blues and welcome a red-hot September. More ways than one. It'll be 90 degrees today. Yikes! Welcome to Money Info, brought to you by Princeton Research with Mike King in Las Vegas, Charles Moskowitz in Boston. I'm sort of holding down the fort here in Port St. Lucie. And a very pleasant post Labor Day to you guys. Hello there.
Yes, it is a brisk first of the month for reports.
Yeah.
Question. The ISM reports from both America and China were great reports. I mean, the American report of 55.7 confirms last month of 55.4 that it wasn't an errant report, that it was real, because the durable goods report that came out last week of minus 7.3 was a terrible number, throwing the recovery in jeopardy. That was a terrible number that we had last week. And on the first day of the new month, we get every nation reports their purchasing managers' reports. Well, both the China report got to 50.1, just above the 50 threshold. 50 is the threshold between advancing and declining economies. Well, this was a relief because China's had been terrible for the last 4 months. And, I mean, Indonesia, Korea, Malaysia, they still have negative ISM reports. You can see that Asia, which manufacturers for the Western world, has a problem, don't they? All of their economies are in deficit. Why? They don't have energy. They don't have the oil to run their cars. So that they have to get from us. But this has been a problem that will be ongoing for India, Malaysia, Indonesia, all of the Asian countries.
But, Mike, I mean, you look at, where they get their oil. Bloomberg today just had a report that China has the smallest number of oil imports from West Africa. It's declined yet again, and the guys who own oil tankers are really crying the blues, said it's their worst year since 1997. So they were China was buying oil from West Africa, I take it.
Well, they're buying oil from everywhere in the world, wherever they can get it.
Right.
I mean, it's not a fait accompli that you just continue to get oil from an original source. Remember, it has to be brought out of the ground, and now the water, it's a process. It is not easy.
Yeah.
Well, I have two things to say about that. Number one, I think the dynamic of what's going on with China and Russia being on the opposite side of the fence with us about Syria kind of shows that they have a strong relationship. And that strong relationship, you have to remember, Russia has nothing but oil.
Yeah.
They don't really, when you say Russia, a lot of people relate to it the way that we related to it before the breakup, as, this country with great natural resources. And, well, Russia has oil, but, it's Kazakhstan
production problems.
And so from that point, you have to figure that in order to be supported or to be mutually supported, that a bunch of that Russian oil is going there because they need the currency. And certainly China has a huge supply of our currency. So I think that that's part of what you see. And secondly, as China becomes really a world economic power, I'm going to guess that in all of that land that they have, I'm going to guess there's some oil there somewhere.
Interesting.
It just hasn't been, exploited yet. The same way they have rare earth minerals, the same way they have gold. I think that they're just early stage like what we would call some of the junior producers. I mean, I think that they're going to roll that forward in a pretty meaningful way over the next 10 or 20 years.
You know, it's amazing that you guys are both talking about oil, and that yet another Bloomberg story from today was that the oil patch, actually the headline says oil patch follows smartphone makers in patent defenses. And they talk about Schlumberger, Halliburton, and Baker just exploding the number of patents that they have in not only finding oil, but what's really kind of cool is that apparently Halliburton has a brand new subsea glider robot that